Hello, friends. Welcome back. It's time for I don't care. Sorry. There's a lot going on here. I don't really feel like pretending. But it's social media. And we all have to pretend like we're actually happier than we are. Hello, friends. Welcome back. It's time for another video. I forgot to clap at the beginning of this. We'll clap 3 times. You have no idea what that's for, but you don't edit your videos, really. This is two system sound, right? So I've got sound being recorded via one device, and then I've got the video being recorded via another device. And then when I bring it into, in this case, Premiere Pro, I used to use Avid Media Composer, and then I used to use Final Cut Pro, and now I use Adobe Premiere. Doesn't matter. They all do the same job. But Premiere is actually quite friendly these days. So I'm happy with that. I use Premiere. And anyway, all you do is you take the bunk, bunk, bunk with the 3 claps from the camera, and you look at the 3 claps from the audio that I'm recording on the other device, bum, 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 and you just sync them up. And then you don't even really have to listen to it. You just like visually sync them up, and then your video's pretty well in sync. I do double check with headphones. But anyway, that's why I do the 3 claps. Why am I talking about any of this? Because this is an inebriated. I've had slightly inebriated streams. This is an inebriated video. We're beyond slightly, because I don't give a shit right now. There's stuff going on, and I don't care. It's a writing channel, so we'll talk about writing instead of, I don't know, home improvement or relationship advice. But the truth is, my there's so much truth. It's so complicated, my life. Okay, my youngest daughter, who is not actually my daughter. It's complicated. Okay, I technically am single. I live in a house with a woman, but because, and we've lived in this house for over 6 years, and we've been together for 12, but because in Quebec, common law doesn't exist, we're just boyfriend and girlfriend. So I have a girlfriend. That girlfriend has 3 children. I don't have any children. I've never contributed my DNA, except for once. You know, that's actually what the first 6 books are all about. You don't know that, and you probably never will unless you read them. But the first 6 books are about that. Anyway, I have a girlfriend. She has 3 children. Okay? The boys, I don't even know their friggin' ages anymore. You know, I've been with them for so long, and the ages don't even matter. They're just all kids, right? I think the boy's 22. The middle girl, I think she's 18. And the youngest, I believe, is 17. Subject to change without notice. It might be a year here or there. I know, I live here. I should know their friggin' ages, but I don't. The youngest is going under the knife in a few days for scoliosis surgery. So she's going to have vertebrae fused, and I don't know what the hell they do, but bars and whatever. And she's going to be incapacitated or recovering for roughly a month and a half. We'll see. So there are some things going on here. That's fine. It's not a me thing. It's a her thing. It's more about her emotions and how she's feeling having to deal with this. I mean, this all happened within the last couple days. It didn't. There were consultations and stuff like a year ago. But then an opening for the surgery opened, and she said no. And then she asked everyone's opinion, and unfortunately, when you ask Ian's opinion, you get it. She had decided no. After I provided my opinion, she changed her answer to yes for the surgery. There is a slight percentage possibility that she will be paralyzed for life. But there's a far greater likelihood that no, that's not going to happen. She'll be perfectly fine. Great. I don't know what it is. I don't listen to these things. 99% possibility that she's going to be perfectly fine. Okay, great. 1%, did I cause that? Who knows? We'll see. So, there are things that weigh on me a little bit. You don't get that. I don't give you these things, but there's that. At the same time, and far less important, sorry, anyone who happens to be watching from my actual job, I got a day job, and there have been some things that have been slipping. And why have they been slipping? Because, well, I don't like to blame other people, but fuck you, IT. IT took 6 months to reinstall software that I absolutely needed to do my job back onto my computer after they hired some fucking child to do like a Windows 11 update that broke, all the exceptional computers, outside of the norm. People just use Word and Excel, like garbage like that. There are a lot of people who have supercomputers, and they didn't need the generic Windows 11 update. They needed something that actually worked, and that it didn't. So I was actually a year without. I've been a year. I mean, it's still ongoing. There's a little bit more software to install, but I've been a year without actually being able to do my job in total. But I did other things that didn't require this particular software. But then like the projects, they build up and they build up and they build up. And so I've been holding those. And so in case you're a person where I've been in your live streams and I'm just like, hey, I'm just doing my day job, and it's like, I don't know, 3 p.m. on a Sunday. Well, yeah, I am doing my day job because I have to catch up on all of this crap that I have to do, which is no fault of mine, but this is where it comes into writing. I can't write if there's a stress over me, because work is more important than writing. Work is more important than anything. Okay, slightly inebriated or like totally inebriated? Sure, let's have another drink because you're about to get some real shit. Ready? Okay. There is nothing more important than your job. Your actual job that brings in work. There is nothing more important than that. Why not? Because otherwise you're living under a fucking bridge. You're not eating. You die. Your whole family dies. Everyone dies. That, relies on you to provide. Everybody dies if you don't work. You wonder why men are so focused on work, because everybody dies. We don't have the luxury of playing in other avenues. We just have to get it done, and it doesn't matter if we're enjoying it or not. You got to get it done, because otherwise everybody dies. So, no offense, but if you want to write a book where, a man is reacting in a certain way, he's reacting in that way because his only point in living is to provide for others. Well, at least for me. If you're a selfish bastard, fuck you. Go kill yourself. We don't need selfish people in the world. We need givers. People who give to other people. Freely, as much as humanly possible, without you yourself succumbing to whatever you've given. So, anyway, look, I don't know if I speak for all males. I can't possibly. I don't know them all. There's Ted and there's Brad and there's Fred over there. But I don't speak for all males. But my feeling, and I hate to be sexist, but my feeling is that males are sacrificial. We chuck our seed into your field. We're there to provide until the offspring are adults, or provide as much as humanly possible. But we're really not needed for anything else. You could carry in groceries. We're like pack mules, I guess. Yeah, you carry in groceries and you do other things. But I could not care less if the drapes match the fucking kitchenware. I don't care. That is not a thing. That's your thing. If you want aesthetics, knock yourself out. That is your thing. I just provide as much as I possibly can until there's nothing left that I can give. And that's it. And I mean, maybe that's just me because I never actually had children of my own. I'm just trying to be as useful as possible to society and, to my girlfriend wife. We could get married one day, but she's already been married. What's the fucking point in that? There's no point. A legal bind. We're already together. There's no reason in the rings and things. That's just a waste of money. She may not think so, but I don't care. If it becomes an issue, we will discuss it like human beings, logical human beings, and we will go from there. But at the moment, it is not an issue, and it never has been. So we'll see. Anyway, I, as someone who hasn't had children and isn't therefore contributing to the continuation of the human race, I can provide as much as humanly possible to these other people. Now there's 3 children and a wife. 3 children is too much. You should have 2 to replace yourself and your spouse when you die. But since there is an extra one, great. Now, this is where I come in. I can contribute, and we're not overpopulating, based on that slight mathematical error there that Madame produced. It's fine. How does any of this have anything to do with writing? Well, I haven't written anything in Book 8. I haven't written a damn thing other than in my phone. I've already sworn. I've got a shit ton of notes in my phone on Book 8. I already know how it's all going to happen. It's going to be a trucking thing. I know. Well, I don't know, but yeah. Well, you could call it Smokey and the Bandit, I suppose. But anyway, we're going to have trucking. It's a planetoid. We've got equidistant thingies and a central warehouse where food and equipment is delivered. And then there's truckers that go out to the other places, and it's being terraformed. This planetoid's being terraformed. There's already an artificial sun around it. Great. And they're going to bring it up. So there's an atmosphere and, grass and whatever else. I don't care. But that's what they're doing. And this trucker, he's singing a song. Yeah, none of that's actually important. But there's this trucker at the opening of the book, when I write it, he's driving along with 40 friggin' trailers behind him. It's all hovering, right? We're not actually touching the ground. This is a planetoid. And he's singing a song, and he's like, what the hell is that noise? The beep, beep, beep. That's not in the song. And it's oh, there's a friggin' guy. And he drives right over him. And that's the guy that I showed you 4 videos ago or 3 videos ago that's in the dirt. And then the investigation, firstly, will involve, did this guy actually hit this other guy? Did this guy die from some other means? Was he, already dead when he was in the dirt? That trucker the day before went the other way, or probably 3 or 4 days before, depending on the hours of service for the trucker. Hours of service. You can only drive for about 12 hours or something, and you have to take a rest. So, it's a planetoid. It's not just a province or state. So he probably had to take a rest, and then he went on to the next depot thing and dropped off whatever, and now he's driving back to get more stuff, and that's when he finds the guy. So he didn't find him the first time, he's finding him the second time. Great. Huzzah. Okay, and then it's like the world of the repair people, the mechanics, the whatever, I don't know, the warehouse people for this this thing. And like, is it this place, like the distribution warehouse, or is it this place, the, I don't know, receiver of whatever the fuck, supplies and whatever? Or did this guy come from like somewhere else? Was he on a tour? Was he dropped off? Is this just a body coming from the heavens and dropped in here? And they have to figure out based on, well, you're not going to remember this anyway, so it doesn't matter. What's it called? Oh, God, I don't remember what it's called. Whatever. The marks in the dirt. What is that called? It's not skid marks. I don't remember what the actual word is for that, but and I'm not even going to put it in later in the video. I don't care. Whatever. But like, is he coming, like, did he land and slide from this direction? Did he land and slide from this direction? Is he supposed to be going off here or here? What is the deal? How did he die? Or she? I haven't actually decided yet. It's probably a he, but we'll see. Oh, right. Oh, this is going to be a long one. Okay, you ready? We're going to get very offensive now. This is, like the 9th. Hey, everybody remember paper cuts when I totally effed up how to make a podcast? Yeah, you don't remember that. Okay. I had thought of making a video. Calm down. Everybody just take a chill pill for half a second and wait until I say what I have to say. Where the thumbnail in the description, the title, why are there no black people in your books? I had that idea. And I thought, after having that idea, no. It's far too clickbaity. And like, people just click on it to like shout at me. They won't even watch the video. And I'm not about attention. I don't actually care about attention. I don't know if you've seen like how many subscribers I have, but I'm not really about manipulating people to make myself feel better. I couldn't care less about manipulating people. I just tell the truth. Well, in the moment. I change my mind all the time, but I tell the truth in the moment. So, in that vein, why are there no black people in your books? Well, there aren't not black people in my books. In the same way that there aren't not Indian people in my books, or Asian people, or First Nations people, or, apologies, I don't remember the name, Maori, the indigenous people of like New Zealand or Australia. I don't remember the name for that. I'm sorry. I don't describe. This is the trick. I don't describe anyone. You might get hair, and it's the future, so maybe it's changing color every other week. I don't describe anything. I don't describe noses or chins, clothing if you're lucky. We do not do pigment. Why? Because it doesn't fucking matter. Pigment doesn't matter at all. Firstly, ever. Ever. And secondly, it certainly doesn't matter in a murder mystery. You know, that's really all I have to say about that. It doesn't matter. Like, this isn't a romance where I have to describe, I don't know, tracing a finger across a porcelain chin or some nonsense. Sorry, I don't read a lot of romance. You guys go for it. But pigment is the least relevant thing in existence, both in my books and in reality. Couldn't care less. We're not labeling things. Okay, this is the future. So in another way, we're not labeling things and nobody gives a shit. Okay? Sexuality-wise, nobody gives a shit. Okay? People might be bi, people might be homosexual or queer. Nobody cares. Okay? So we don't bring that up. That's not a thing that happens in my books. Nobody cares. It's the future. We're not really about being in little groups. Okay? Everybody does whatever the fuck they want. It's inebriated video, okay? You're finally getting unfiltered. What else did I want to say? Trans. Okay, in my books, I deal with male and female solely. The reason, there are several. Well, at least two. I don't know. I'm coming up with this as I speak. One, I am not the person to tell anyone else's story. If you are a person that identifies other than male or female, you write a book. You tell the story. And then people have the real story. Old, straight, white guy, come on, fuck. What the hell do I know about anything? No, you tell the story. Okay? Secondly, I refuse to have a trans person as a victim of a murder or as the murderer. I refuse. I don't believe that does society any good. The end. I'm done talking about that. I think you get the sentiment there. Neither a victim nor a murderer. The end. There are a lot of people that exist in the universe that I've written, but unless they're a murderer or a suspect, unless they're a victim, a suspect, or a murderer, whatever, we don't go into their stories, so they can be anything. They can be anything, and again, we don't really label in the future because nobody gives a shit about any of that. It's only here and now where we actually give a shit about putting labels on things. Not in the future, okay? It is my hope that that approach with the not defining pigment and not defining sexual orientation or desires or whatever that is, that I have been respectful to all people. If you feel that I have gotten that wrong, leave me a comment, well argued, not just vitriol, and I will address that. Nothing's been published yet. If you feel that I've gotten that wrong, leave me a comment. But that's how I have approached this. You know, food-wise, this is funny. Okay, because I was thinking cultures, right? Cultures tend to be about the food. Well, we're not. No. We're not going that way. Okay, I'm not drunk enough to go into the thing that I just thought about. Food-wise, I try to incorporate as many Earth cuisine. It's space, right? It's sci-fi. I try to incorporate as many Earth cuisines from all over the world as possible. However, I only know so many, and even with like a ridiculous amount of research and like buying every cookbook worldwide under the sun, I have a shit ton of them, like right there. I don't know everything. So if you have a favorite meal and you want it to appear in my books, there's a lot of food in my books, a lot. Let me know in the comments and I will put it in a book. Why is there so much food in my books? It's a good question. This is my way of explaining the government, the politics. That won't make any sense to you. Food is free. In my books, in the future, 300 and, I don't know, 20, 30, whatever years from now, all food is free. And it's real food, okay? It's like actual produce grown on farm bands, prepared by professional chefs, and it's all free. Technically, you pay for it via the system taxes of the solar system that you live in, but it's effectively free. You know, you can just go to the cafeteria and order whatever you want and have it. If you want it delivered to your cabin, you have to pay for the delivery driver, but otherwise food is free. And it's supposed to represent everything. All cultures ever. Now, stupid old white guy, I only know so many things. And again, with like all the research and whatever, I don't know everything. And I've got 30 books to do, and I've only written, well, we're on our 8th. So there's lots of books left. If you have something you want to see as a meal, even a side dish or whatever, salad of some kind, whatever, let me know. And I will incorporate it into the books. But make sure to, well, I was going to say make sure to tell me where it's from, but that doesn't actually matter because whatever. Give me as much information about it as possible so that I can actually look it up. I'd like to see a picture of it because I like to describe like the first taste as people try this stuff in the books. Food's incredibly important. They need it in order to keep their energy up to solve crimes. But it's also the way of the government manipulating people into staying docile. You know, I don't know how many of you know French, but estomac plein, poche vide. That's marriage advice that men give to their daughters in Quebec. And it means full stomach, empty sack, scrotum. You want to keep a man, keep his stomach full and drain him as often as possible. Which is the worst advice in existence. So the government is keeping people's bellies full. There is also the technology, which everyone except for the main character, calls VERT, which is virtual reality, and most people have sex in there, really, or masturbate. Well, it's sex, but who knows if it's a real person or not. It's virtual reality. This is not a modest future. So people have sex, people eat, people defecate. I've mentioned this in other videos. There's effluence in these books because that's all there is in life. Welcome. You eat, you shit, you fornicate, you breathe. There's only 4 things that you do as an animal walking around on this rock in space. Other than fornication, you raise the spawn, but that's it. So there's an incorporation of that into the books. I don't know that I'm selling them, but whatever. They're murder mysteries in space, and I've incorporated everything I've thought over the last 49 years now. My birthday was just a couple weeks ago. 49 years now. We're not quite 50. We'll get there. Well, I don't know. Maybe. Christ. The books are everything. Everything that I think's funny. Well, it's some childish nonsense that I don't actually think is funny, but I put in there to wake you up. But the political stuff, some manipulation, that's in there. Dystopia, not dystopia. There's a lot of that. Lack of modesty, exhibitionism. There's a lot in there. And doing your fucking job, whether you want to or not, whether you're feeling up to it or not, getting it done. That's in there too. So the books are me. The books, not the character. I'm not like a superhero flying around in a cape. The books, the world, everything, it's all me. You want to know me? Read the books. They're not published yet, so I should probably save that sentiment for another time. But I have a copy editor now. We're getting closer. Getting closer and closer to actually publishing these things. And I don't know if I'll wait until the 12th book is friggin' done. I've got 6 plus the prequel. We'll see. We'll go as quick as we can. I feel like I'm going to die before the first few are out. I don't know. We'll see. Thank you very much for watching. I'm sure this was like, I don't know, an hour and a million years video. What does it say? I can't read anymore. I need glasses. 40 minutes. It's a 40-minute video where I talk nonstop. There's no edits. So I hope you enjoyed it, but I doubt that. If you made it to the end, leave a middle finger emoji, because, like, fuck you, Ian. You're just wasting my time with this nonsense. That's the spirit. Love you lots.